Everyone, welcome to Ask an Agent. It's another Wednesday, another great topic. This is actually one of my favorite topics is how do you find the right agency for you, whether you're an actor or a model or a child actor, regardless of what kind of part of the industry you want to get into, you want to make sure that you find the best representation for you. And I think there's a lot of misconception on what the job is of an agency, what the job is of the talent. How do you work together, and then how do you accomplish the goals that you have put down for yourself? So, kind of just want to go over this today. Remember, this is your time. Feel free to put the messages in the chat. We can, go over any questions that you have, and this is really your time. If you have any comments for the future, obviously feel free to write them on there, or comment on any of our social media. We do look at those, and that's how we also figure out what topics we will discuss in the future. So how do you find the right agency for you? You have to first of all figure out what it is that you want to get into. If you're a commercial actor, commercial print type person, that's probably a little bit more aesthetic space. If you want to be a film actor, you want to get yourself into training before you even start working with an agency, in my opinion. If you're a child actor, again, if you're a parent of a child and your child really loves the modeling side of it, catalogs, print, that probably doesn't require so many acting classes or on-camera classes, but again, they would have to fit a certain aesthetic, and make sure that you kind of research what is being done in your area, what kind of work comes to your area. We're in Florida, so obviously a lot of things that are shooting outside on the beach, very tropical, warm. We're also big into diversity, which, but that's part of why we love living here, and we can actually, book talent that fit those criteria here. And I mean, for example, we love very athletic talent. We love people that have special skill sets. We love unique looks. For us, we have recently been signing, I would say over the past 2 years, like people with lots of freckles or very curly hair, or I'm just trying to think of like all the different things that we can kind of put out there for you. But if you're into, again, like I said, the commercial side of it, if you're into voiceover, obviously got to make sure that that is something that you're trained with. There are just so many different facets that you can get into. So as you start the process of applying to agencies, make sure that those agencies are, actually taking on talent and pushing talent in those categories. There are agencies that we have an agency that basically focuses on athletic talent, so anything sports related. Most of the people that they sign are in professional sports teams or have just extreme skill sets. We have an agency here that specifically, focuses on children, and I think they're very heavy on the print side of it. So those are probably the kits that they would be taking on more. Our agency focuses on film acting, commercial, and print, but we do have a emphasis on the film side of it. So we love to work actually with talent that are in film training, whether they kids or adults. And I think especially with the film side of it, it's something that you don't just pick up in a year. That's something where we entered the relationships with talent to work together over a long period of time. So that's kind of what we're looking for. You have to really, I think, be clear to how much time you're going to invest into this. Not every agency, sometimes will take on talent. I mean, I think that there's this thing where you see, okay, they're really busy, I really want to work with them, but I'm only going to dedicate 2 days a month. I really have a busy schedule. It's not really that serious for me. It's more of a hobby. I've said this in previous Facebook Lives, don't make your hobby, or don't make my profession your hobby. For us, that's a big turn off. I'm not interested in working with people who just want to kind of do this on the side, meaning they're not taking it completely serious. It's okay if you're doing something else full time. Obviously, we love to have stability in our talent lives as well. This is not the most stable industry. Can be really busy, it can be very slow. But at the end of the day, you have to take this just as serious as your other job. It's a profession. You're only a very small part, usually, of a large production that has anywhere from 10 to 100 people on it to make sure that everything happens properly. So if this is just your hobby and that's how you treat it, this is probably not going to make for a successful relationship with us or with the production side of it. So, yeah, I think especially this day and age, you can find out so much information about agencies on social media. I know for TDA, we really show up everywhere. We're on YouTube, we're on Pinterest. We spend a lot of time putting information out, training our talent, letting them know what is expected of them, giving a lot of information on how they really can succeed in, in booking projects. And there's really, I think there's almost really no way to not get the vibe of an agency or see what they focus on with all the information that's given nowadays. So you just have to figure out on your end, what is it that you're looking for? Do we, can we actually meet your expectations? We do meetings with every single talent that comes through the door. We ask them what they're looking for. Sometimes I'll have a mom that tells me, hey, yeah, but we both work 8 to 5. Can't we just work nights and weekends? And it doesn't really work that way. There are no jobs that are just nights and weekends. That doesn't make sense. And that is okay. And that should not lead you to a point to get upset. That just means it doesn't actually work. And just like any profession, and this is a profession, you have to have both sides work together and have a clear understanding of what the expectations are so that you can then go ahead and, partner up with this. Because at the end of the day, it's a partnership between talent and their agency. Let's say you're signed now, you start getting submitted, and you're just not booking 2 to 3 months into it. You've seen that you've gotten 50, 60 submissions. Especially with newer talent, we often get this, well, what's the agency not doing for me? Well, that's not how this works. We guide you, put everything together with you, show you where you need to show up. We give you a lot of guidance on what we want you to do. But at the end of the day, if you're getting 50, 60 submissions, that means the agency is doing their part. That means there's something either that we need to discuss on your back end, as maybe the pictures are not working, maybe you're not showing up properly, maybe you're not submitting properly, or maybe how you see yourself is not how whoever's on the other end of that submission process sees you. And then we have to go over that and figure this out. It's also, just because one agency says no to you doesn't mean that now you need to leave the industry. This is something where for us, we only take you on if we think we can procure opportunities for you. If we cannot find you opportunities, then it's a waste of time for everyone. We would, get you into a contract and then nothing happens. And then what's the point of that? The only time that agencies get paid is if you're booking. So just because somebody says no, it doesn't mean that you have to stop. Maybe that just means you need to take more training. You need to take updated pictures. Maybe you need to change your look a little bit, or reach out to one of the other 40 agencies that are probably in the state that you're submitting in, and see if you can connect with someone else. For us, we have a mostly exclusive roster. We take on only talent that we think we can work with for a long time, that we think we can generate work for. Or that we can, engage in this relationship with, make sure they do all the right things, and it's maybe a 2 to 3 year process. That's basically, kind of it as you make your decisions. Again, I always tell everyone, use the time to research, see what they push. You definitely want your agent to rally, for you. You want them to be your cheerleader. If somebody is, if I'm not excited about someone, I just don't think that's going to go anywhere. Even if your biggest wish is to work with that agency, they have to be excited about you, and they have to think that they can do something for you. That's pretty much it, I think, with this topic. Okay, I'm going to actually read a couple of these. If you're looking for high quality creative professionals, somebody actually put project casting, one of the, there are lots of actually websites too. Oh, that's actually a good point, real quick, Jonathan. So project casting and Backstage and Mandy and some of these other sites, you don't have to necessarily be agency represented to work in the industry. We have a lot of people that are freelance. We don't represent freelance, but obviously because they would be signed with the agency. But there are lots of opportunities to do this on your own if you don't want to commit to this agency representation type of relationship. You can, submit yourself. I'll also always advise or let people know about maybe doing kind of their own thing. Let's say no agencies take you at all, and for whatever reason that's just the way it is, and maybe you need to become a content creator. Maybe create your own show, create your own content. You're not limited just because an agency won't take you on, especially in this day and age. there's so many, especially like let's say you're focused on social media. There's so many social media companies that will sign on all kinds of influencers. You don't need training for that. You don't need headshots for that. You just need to be a content creator in your own right, and maybe that'll work for you. So thank you for posting that. It's agency representation is not the only way to go, and it's not the start all end all. You can also do things on your own, and especially for the ones that are into this more for a hobby, or like let's say you're a nights and weekends kind of person, and you don't really have other time to dedicate to this. Maybe that's an avenue that you can, pursue on your own and see what works for you. There are many, many different ways to become talent and, to check off some boxes and hopefully achieve what you're dreaming of achieving. So I don't know if anybody else has any questions. Doesn't look like it. All right. Well, let me know for future. You're welcome to comment on any one of the links that are still live. This is going to live on our Facebook page for the next, I believe 90 days. Make sure to comment. We read the comments. We try to respond to you. And if there's any topic you want me to go over in the future, feel free to reach out. Happy to. I mean, this is really for you guys and to answer some questions and hopefully, deconstruct some of the myths in this industry. Because I always feel like educated people are, more successful people. Oh, we had a couple more questions actually. Okay, hi Vanessa. Hi Sydney. Jane's asking, is big social media presence necessary? I don't think that it's necessary to book projects. I think social media is a great way to show up for yourself, to show what's important to you, to show the best of you, especially now with this digital submission process and 90% of our castings being, held via self-tape, meaning you don't even get to get in front of the client and really connect with them and use your personality to woo them. I think that social media gives a good idea of what kind of person you are and what's important to you and how you show up basically for the rest of the world. So I do think you should maintain it. I don't think it's necessary to have it just to book a job. Now, if you're on the influencer side of it, or you're working with influencer brands, or sometimes a brand will ask us, well, how many followers do they have, because maybe they're more of a startup or just need the eyeballs for it. They may actually look at what kind of engagement you have on your social media. But I mean, we show up everywhere. We're on YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, Pinterest, and YouTube, as well as Twitter. We're more active on some than the others, and not all content is appropriate for all the networks. So we just have to kind of figure out what works for you. But you should at least, I think, if you can have a LinkedIn and an Instagram and just maintain those two, I think those would be two good ways to go. Hi, Sheila. Nice to see you. Does anybody else have a question? All right, we're getting a bunch of spam, getting a bunch of spam people here, so I'm going to block those. Okay, nobody else has any questions, feel free to reach out. Happy to, like I said, go over future topics. Those of you who are actually talent of ours, you can always email me too, and just let me know what you'd like to hear about more, and we can go over those things for you. All right. Sorry, I just had to block a couple people on YouTube. All right. Well, thanks, guys. Happy Wednesday. Let's look forward to the rest of a busy season. And like I said, reach out if you have any questions. Thank you. Bye.